Hey friend, Graham here from the recordingrevolution.com, and today I've got a special video for you. I want to share 3 lessons that I learned from my time at Mix with the Masters a year ago in the south of France. These lessons will help you as an engineer, mixer, and producer. But I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to give you stuff that won't help you. I want to give you material that will help you, and these lessons will do just that. So I'm talking about Mix with the Masters because a year ago today, as of taping this, I was sitting in the south of France at the beautiful Studio La Fabrique, sitting under the tutelage, if that's really a word, of Jacquire King, Grammy-winning mixer, producer, engineer. I've had him on the channel before. You should definitely check out that interview with Jacquire King. He's famous for the Kings of Leon records, but he's a phenomenally talented musician. He did that first Mute Math record. He mixed it, which I love. Mixed it in the box on Logic, by the way, years ago. And he's an incredible guy, and he was someone I wanted to learn from. But there was 3 things I didn't realize I was going to learn while I was there. So again, Mix with the Masters is a week-long seminar in France, in this beautiful studio they've built out in this incredible estate with beautiful grounds. The entire studio doesn't have acoustic treatment. This is interesting. It has on the sides of the mix position just walls and walls and walls of bookshelves that actually have records. It's one of Europe's largest collections of actual vinyl records, and they're like slotted all in the bookshelves, and that's what's your absorbed material on the left and the right. It's beautiful. It's a really cool scenario. It's a very, very beautiful studio, beautiful Neve console, lots of racks of outboard gear, beautiful tracking space, all kinds of cool stuff. So it's a fun experience. But there's 3 things that I learned from my time there that I think will help you. The number 1 thing I learned was that great recordings and great mixes are not about the gear, they're about the song. Now, we know this. If you follow me, you know this because I don't stop preaching about this. This is the deal. This is what the recording revolution is all about, and I won't stop until I die because it's what will really help you and set you free. Now, the funny thing is, though, Graham, the recording revolution guy, the affordable gear guy, it's not about the gear guy, goes to Mix with the Masters, and the moment you're there, you're, like anytime I go into a beautiful studio, you're hypnotized. I grab my notebook, I start just writing down everything I see him touching. Oh, he used 1176 and he used these settings. Oh, he grabbed that plugin and he did this technique. I'm literally copying down everything he did as if the gear he used and the way he used it and the settings he had on that gear are the secret. And at one point, Jacquire even spins around in his chair and says, guys, don't just like write down my compressor settings or my EQ settings as if that's going to help you, because it won't. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, I know that. I'm the recording revolution guy. I'm in that moment just believing the lie again that what I see him touching is where the magic is. Correlation does not equal causation. So just because his good mixes correlate with the fact that he has some nice gear doesn't mean that that nice gear caused the good mixes, but that's where my default goes to. That's where my heart goes to. My brain says, oh, I see him touching that Blue Stripe 1176 on the vocal, and he does 10 dB of gain reduction at this ratio. That's the secret to Jacquire's vocal sound. But turns out the secret is having a good vocalist and a good song and knowing how to produce that person and make it sound good with whatever tools he has at the moment. Because the funny thing is the more I watched Jacquire work, whether it's in tracking, because we tracked a band, or in mixing, he wasn't really doing anything that I wasn't really doing. There were a handful of specific things that were very helpful. There's always little tips and tricks that you always learn from other producers and engineers, but you start to realize, wait, he's just miking things up, going, that doesn't sound the way I want, miking it up again. He's grabbing an EQ, tweaking a bit, he's compressing so the vocal don't get out of hand. Like, you start to realize it's not about what he's touching or how he's touching it. He has a vision in his head of what a good song should sound like, and he's just fiddling till he gets there. And that's what we as a group ended up doing. We would work together, choose mics, mic placement, make suggestions on the mix. It was very, involved for all students there. It's really cool. It's not just a one-way thing. We get to be involved. And everybody had the same vision. We knew what a good song should sound like, and we fiddled till we got there. We worked with a talented artist. We had a talented mixer. We were all focused on what the song should sound like. No one was really talking about gear in those sessions. We were talking about the song and tones and arrangement and cool ideas and effects. So it turns out the song is the most important thing, not the gear, not even the technique. It's the song. Without a good song and a good performance of that song, you have nothing. We know this. We've heard it before. You've heard it from me. But it took going all the way across the Atlantic Ocean to the south of France to be reminded that man, when I go back to my garage, my little home studio, unless I'm working on really good music, I'm not going to get a good mix. Unless I write better songs as an artist, I'm not going to get good mixes. Unless I'm working with more talented bands to record or mix, my mixes won't sound great. It's amazing what happens when you get your hands on good musicians and good songs. Somehow you become a better engineer because it's all about the song. Lesson number 2 that I learned from Mix with the Masters is you need an audio community. This is important. You need a community that you are a part of. It's close-knit, that thinks like you think, has the same challenges you have, has the same hopes and dreams that you have, and speaks the same language that you speak in terms of audio language. So when I went to Mix with the Masters, in all honesty, I just was going for Jacquire. I just wanted to go learn from him and have an amazing experience, a little vacay. I was not going for the other people that were going to be attending. I didn't know who they were. I honestly didn't really care. I cared about meeting Jacquire and learning from him. Funny thing happens, you get to Mix with the Masters, you have that moment of awkwardness where you all meet up at the mansion, at the castle where the studio is, and you don't know anybody. It's kind of weird, kind of awkward. But by that evening, it's like you're all best friends because you remember, wait, we all like the same thing. We all want the same deal. We're all here to grow as engineers. We're all working back home on our own music, no matter what country we're from. And there are people from Brazil and Canada and the US and France and all over the place, England. There's such a common bond when you're in that space at Mix with the Masters that you instantly have friends. And what happens with these friends and in this community over meals, dinner, snacks, taking bathroom breaks, walking outside on the grounds, is you have these conversations. And in these conversations, you bring up, what system are you working on? You talk about gear a bit. Oh, how's that working for you? Do you like that microphone? Do you like those converters? Do you like that DAW? Oh, you use that plugin? That's cool. How are you using it? So you're talking about gear. And you're saying, man, I can't seem to get this drum sound to sound the way I want. Well, how do you micing it up? Well, I do this. Oh, I found that this works when I do this. In a matter of minutes, you have these amazing insights from other people that they share what's worked, what hasn't worked, whether it's a technique or a piece of gear. And then what it does is it makes your brain wake up. Your brain is filled with a million ideas. I have a million ideas in my head and in my notebook from people that attended Mix with the Masters. Not even from Jacquire, from the other people that attended, we're all on the same level playing field. They're all talented, they're all doing great work, but they're all there to learn. So I was surprised and blown away by the value that I got from the community of the 15 of us or however many were there. And some of them, we didn't even speak the same language. I'm trying to bring out as much French as I remember from high school. They're trying to bring out as much English as they know, but we knew the language of audio. We could talk about gear and we could talk about mic placement and we could still inspire one another. It was incredible. So here's the thing for you. Do you have an audio community? Now, you may not have a physical community in your town or in your city or in your neighborhood that all understand what you're doing and do the same kind of thing that you're doing, but do you have a community online virtually? Can you Skype with friends? Can you have Google Hangouts together? Do you have a private Facebook group that's just for your little audio clan where you encourage one another, where you share your frustrations, where you share your wins, you share your successes? Do you have that place where you can get out of your isolation? I always talk about this. We work in our little audio caves, okay? I'm in one right now. There's literally half a window. There's no light, there's no other human beings, it's just me and some guitars and a DAW and my own thoughts. And that's great sometimes, but what's not great is that I become a crazy person because I'm living like a hermit in my audio cave and I need to get out of it physically, but also virtually to get other input from other people, get other inspiration from other people. There are things, again, that I've learned from those people at Mix with the Masters that have stuck with me and inspired me and given me new ideas. So have an audio community. Heck, I even have an audio community for other audio bloggers that I'm a part of. Other people that teach audio like me. Not even just on the mixing side, but how are you running your blog and your community? So we can ask each other questions or I can come to them and say, hey, I've got a hate email from someone that says, Graham, I hate your V-neck t-shirts. And I tell them, my friends, what do I do? What do I do with that? How do I respond to that kind of stuff? We vent together, we celebrate together. That kind of community is super valuable. And I want you to contribute to that community. Don't just be a fly on the wall in that community. Be an active participant. Share. Even if you feel like you don't have the right answer, be vulnerable. You might be wrong or you might get laughed at, but probably not if it's a mature group of people. There were things that Mixed with the Masters that I wanted to speak up and share, but I was afraid that I wasn't going to have the right answer or that they would make fun of me because these are some really talented people, super smart. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed when it comes to audio. I know a few tricks and I just use them over and over again, but I had to embrace and get over that fear of just being an active participant and contributing, not just sitting and listening, but helping others in the community as well. And you'll benefit if you do the same thing. Lesson number 3, final lesson I learned from Mix with the Masters was you need to always be investing in education. Sounds very biased coming from a guy that makes a living not only doing audio, but teaching audio. But when I say invest in education, I don't mean you have to go to Mix with the Masters if you can't afford it. I don't mean you have to buy one of Graham's courses. I mean, invest in learning, invest your time. Watch all my YouTube videos. There are hours and hours and hours of training for free that you could just watch. But instead of investing in gear all the time, why not invest in education? I'm not against gear. Don't misunderstand. My message is not an anti-gear message. It's an anti-gear's the solution to all your problems message. That's what my message is. I believe education will empower you more than gear. You need gear to get the job done, and I'm okay with you buying gear, but don't assume gear is going to solve your problems. Don't put all the burden of proof on the gear to make you a good mixer. If you're not a good mixer, you're not a good mixer. It doesn't matter what gear you have. Education, though, can unlock your talent, and it can unlock the skill that's in you that just takes time and takes some training. That's valuable no matter what gear you have. Go watch a bunch of YouTube videos. Go read a bunch of articles. Go read interviews from your favorite people and gals and guys that are making great music that you aspire to. Go listen to a bunch of records and analyze them deeply in your mind and pay attention to what kind of tone they have and where they've panned things and what they do going into the chorus. Like, that is investing in education. If you can go to Mix with the Masters, go. It is worth every single penny. I know it's expensive, but it is, yes. If you're asking Graham, is it worth it? Yes, because that experience isn't not only just working that closely with some of the best people in our business, but it's the other people in the room, and it's the unplugging from your environment for a week where you literally have no distraction, no responsibilities, and you're so focused for 7 days on making music and making records that you learn so much in that time that never goes away. It always sticks with you, that it pushes you forward so much. There was even a gal there who's one of the students there who crowdfunded her way to Mix with the Masters. She knew how valuable it was. Just because something's expensive doesn't mean it's not worth it. It can be valuable even if you can't afford it, but find a way to afford it if you can. And she found a way to afford it. She crowdfunded, said, guys, friends, family. She was an audio student in England. She's like, I need to go to Mix with the Masters. I will learn so much. It'll help propel my career forward. I can't afford it. Will you help support me to go? And people rallied behind her because they cared about her and they realized that she was serious about her craft. And she got the whole thing paid for, which is incredible. So find a way to go if you can go to Mix with the Masters. If you can't go to their website and watch their videos. Go to my website, watch my videos. Read an article, read other people's articles, read other people's blogs. Just always invest in education. I learned so much from my time at Mix with the Masters. Okay, I teach this stuff. Do I stop learning? No, because I know how much I don't know. And I love learning because when I learn something new or I learn the way somebody does something, it gets my mind spinning, and when my brain and my mind are spinning, I do better work. I don't ever want to stop learning. I don't want to ever get stuck in my ways. Always invest in education. It's always worth it. There's always a return on that investment, whether it's your time or your money. Now, Mix with the Masters as a whole, like I said, it's totally worth every penny. The environment that Victor and the guys set up for you, it's not just an opportunity to learn, it's an opportunity to have fun. It's an opportunity to just indulge in everything audio. Every conversation outside of the studio is audio. Every moment in the studio is audio. When you're going to bed at night in that beautiful place, you're thinking about audio. It's a time to have focused indulgence in what we love, which is the craft and the art and the challenge of making a recording that sounds amazing and will move you. And again, it all starts with great songs. It takes a great community to inspire you to move forward, and the relentless pursuit of education, whether it's free or paid or both. Those three things, again, that I learned from Mix with the Masters have propelled me forward, will propel you forward. You can implement those today. If you went out and decided, I'm going to focus on the song instead of buying another piece of gear, you could make better recordings and mixes today with your current gear. If you went out and plugged into an audio community, I bet you within 24 hours you'd have a new idea that you never thought of before that would help you make a better recording or mix today. And if you invest in some education, even if that's just going and watching someone's YouTube video right after this video on some little trick or some little technique, you could implement that today and get a better recording and mix today. And that's what I'm all about, is helping you make results, get better sounding music today, not in a month, not in a year, although that will happen. But what can you do that will give you results today? And those 3 things will. But remember, you can go all the way around the world to realize the things you already knew back home is that, it's not about the gear, it's about the song. I need other people in my life to inspire me creatively and musically. And I need to always be investing in education no matter what. No matter what success I reach, always invest in education. You don't have to go to Mix with Masters to figure that out. You can figure that out right now. In fact, you just did. So I hope this helps. Thanks for listening to my rant. Thanks for watching these videos. I exist on this channel to help you any way I can. If this stuff isn't helping you, I'll close up shop. If it is helping you, let me know by subscribing to the videos, and let me know by leaving a comment right below telling me what part of this video in particular helped you the most or inspired you the most, or what lesson did you relearn perhaps today that you knew, but you just needed a little kick in the pants to move forward. Love to hear from you, and if you've gone to Mix with the Masters, let me know. I'd love to hear about your experience. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of the community. I'll see you on the next video. Take care.